Hello guys, I have not spoken since yesterday, and today I want to stand in front of this camera again and bring a video of maybe 10 minutes. Uh, this is all about the food debate I was putting forward concerning what Russia has done to Ukraine. Now the war has shifted from ammunition maintenance. Now it is basically and categorically on food supply, and African nations now they're gonna show their leniency because they cannot eat weapons from the West. They have to bow down to Russia because Russia is the one that is providing food to the majority of African countries, especially in North Africa, Central Africa, and some Southern African countries. Wheat is something that is staple food in North Africa. Muslims mostly they eat wheat, and it is going to be very expensive to import wheat or to get it. India is holding on the stock because it wants to profit. India is India, and it is not going to release its stockpiles to the world unnecessarily without first of all considering food security to feed 1 billion people. So that one is put on hold. What we are going to discuss further is the reason why the NATO is trying to unleash the dragon in the Black Sea, where they think they can be able to topple Russia the way they think. That is not going to happen. Russia has deployed more than 60 warships right now and more than 40 fighter jets, SU-35, and anti-crafted defense missile systems. On the Northern Atlantic, we have also seen a Baltic Sea drill taking place where NATO showed its military maintenance in the Black Sea, in the northern part of the Baltic nations, and they are trying to blink. I don't think it is gonna end up very well, because West has to balance now the political unrest in the countries that needs a food supply from the affected nations, and at the same time it needs to balance the catastrophic economic impact on their territories. Particularly Washington is concerned about the oil skyrocketing, hyperinflation, and the cost of doing business in America is rising. All these they are making Putin comfortable, because Putin, he backed his currency a long time ago with the gold, and he knew all these things gonna come. Even before Crimea was annexed, he knew he would be kicked out of G7, and he knew the modus operandi of the G7 and all those summits. They are in his custody. He has checks and balances, and he is not going to be intimidated as we may think. He has the capacity to propel himself to the better position. Remember, all the African leaders, they are in his pocket. The Southern Asia is in his pocket, and South America is in his pocket, and it's only about 15% of the world that is not in his pocket, because the areas that are supporting Putin, or they have not even put sanctions against him, they are in the developing world. And in developing world, we need technologies, we need ammunition, we need food supply, we need infrastructure development, and the one who is doing infrastructure development in these countries is China. It's not America. And Chinese, they are in good terms with the Russians, and this is not very good for the West. The West has got a population of maybe half a billion or 1 billion, because America has a population of 300,000 people. Canada, I'm not approximating, but Europe, I think, is 200 or 400 million people. So 1 billion people cannot cope with the pressure of 8 billion people or 7 billion people. Do the math and see. They need us as consumers of their tech and or whatever they have. The Western capitalist investors, they need the growing and emerging economies, because that is exactly where they're going to enslave majority. But it's not going on well as they predicted, and Putin is taking the BRICS. BRICS is a system of economic bloc development and borrowing capital for development that was established by Brazil, Russia, and India, China, and Africa at large, and Southern Hemisphere countries. They did this to counterattack the measures by the World Trade Organization, to do this to destabilize or to bring a footstep into world of agendas on how business is conducted worldwide. So this is an institution that Russia is part of, and they are also trying to help Russia with its annexation of from SWIFT banking system, and this is not going to end very well. It's not going to end very well. It's going to bring a lot of hiccups in terms of how West does business with the East, and the East does business with the West, and Africa is a neutral continent. It's a swing state. It's a swing continent. When it is very blocked, BRICS has conditions. The leniency is on the IMF, and also comes with the austerity measures. I don't think we are heading anywhere, and I'm not a propagandist, but I'm an analyst. And way of things, the way they are, people are sympathizing with the East. Biden administration has completely failed, and I don't think it is going to do well. It's not going to do well for him. He needs to understand 5 years from now, America will be broke. He will not be able to do anything. China is having a population of 2 billion people. In the next decade, it's going to be 3 billion people. India going to be 2 billion people. Russia going to be maybe 800 million people. That's a big number that is oppressing, that is opposing your global agendas. And it's not a number you can wake up and say you want to torment or to unleash catastrophic economic sanction against. They'll oppress you. They will say no. They'll ditch you. So food has been weaponized in this war, and these are the tactics the Russians are using. Tactics that were used by Stalin when he stabbed more than 4 million Ukrainians and they died in 1942. The same problem, the same method is coming again. What are we gonna do? Where is Africa? Because most of the people, that war breaks out, many European countries will be torn apart and soldiers will die. So they'll have to rely on Africa for human capital supply, which I don't think African leaders will be able to do that, because not even a single African country has an air defense system. Not even a single one. Maybe South Africa, maybe. Not any other country has an air defense system in Africa. So we can see where we're heading to. This is something that we need to put in order and understand. We have to plant our own food. We have to dig deeper in our pockets to establish our own substance farming technologies, because that is the only way. Now the biggest bargain for Russia is food supply. The second bargain is establishment of Russian territory within annexed Ukraine region. Zelensky needs to watch out. It's not going to do well. Hit that subscription button. Let me know your fear, comment. I'll see you again.